Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk to Rami, another episode. I am sitting here with a very amazing person. Ashley Steinmetz is here in the studio, and the reason that I'm saying it's very interesting because I want to learn a lot from her. I don't know anything about heavy metal. I heard that, but I'm gonna get educated on that. But the reason, as all of you know, that I do this podcast is because it's a great platform for me to learn and engage with people like you. And we're going to talk to Ashley about everything: life, work, concert, everything else. We're going to get to know her. And here you go, Ashley. Welcome to the show.
It's really great people watching, so I
Really?
love the concept. And just chatting with you a little bit before we started, this is going to be a fun one. I'm really
Oh,
excited about
it's
it.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. As I said earlier to the audience, this really podcast platform is to get to know people. We all learn from one another, and it's a great platform for me. I learn a lot. And today, I really want to ask you some question that I was going to ask, like, who is Ashley? I read a little bit about you, but you have a very interesting past, and how you became the person that you are right now, doing a podcast. You love podcasts. You do events, and very involved in the music, especially in Austin, capital of music. How all these things happen from the childhood?
Absolutely. So it's a great story. And to be totally honest, I was so heavily made fun of most of my life, growing up, like a lot of people were in school, and by people in school and also my family members. And I had a lot of really great friendships throughout my life, but I was also massively ostracized as well. And there was some pain here and there in my childhood, but I always really gravitated towards, and I always really felt this deep and heavy music. And I, of course, like every, emo kid, rock kid, they just went down the hallway with headphones on. And, yes, I have that part of me as well. But I remember it was my first concert ever, and it was Crossfade and Seether. And these bands have just completely touched and influenced my life perfectly, in such a way I cannot even tell you. I lived my life for these bands. It was my first show, and I just remember getting in the bathtub, shaving my legs, and feeling like something really cool was about to happen, and it did. And it was my first show. I showed up, and just instinctively I knew, okay, stand over there, do this, do this, do this. And I ended up meeting my favorite band, which was Crossfade. They loved me. They invited me back to their hotel to go party with them. I met Seether. And it was just this beautiful, fun rock and roll time. And I remember walking down the hallway with the bass player, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you like our album? Oh, you like that? Cool." And just thinking on the inside, "Oh my God, yes, everything." But then from that moment, I realized, okay, the people and the industry are real. The music is real, and you can be a part of it. So I went to every single show. I made friends with every single tour manager, lighting guy, sound guy, everything.
Wow.
And it was just this instinctual thing. I always knew how to make myself stand out to where they would want to hang out with me at the end of the show, and I would be able to get to meet the artist. And I only ever wanted to be able to tell them thank you, because that's all you want to do when you listen to music. Is just, for me, it was always like, oh, I wish I could connect with them and thank them. And it was just always very instinctual with me. How to act, how to behave yourself like a lady, and just do that. And if you are friends with one band, they go on tour with another band, and then you become friends with that band. And there were a few bands I was really good friends with at the very beginning that helped me out a lot. First band I was ever really good friends with was Hinder, and this was right when they blew up. And they were all over the world headlining everything, and they took me with them. So I would go hang out with my friends in Hinder, and then I'd get to meet everyone else,
Wow.
on the tour. And that just kind of balloons from there. And then I became really good friends with Stained when I was 16, 17.
Really? Oh my God. I love
And
that.
that was fun, and they knew I wanted to be in the music industry, so they would just, okay, any show you want to go to, we'll hook you up for it. So I would always get tickets and passes to everything. and it just kind of ballooned really quickly. And to kind of bring it around back to, being made fun of in school or something like that. Like, I was so different in all these ways that I didn't really fit in. But as soon as I went to my first concert and as soon as I went to my first show, I was wildly celebrated for every reason why I was wildly made fun of in every other aspect of my life. So when I first started engaging in the music scene and going to shows, I was celebrated for all these reasons. I was ostracized in the regular community. So it was just very much, this is my life and this is where I belong, and it just kind of ballooned from there. I remember early 20s always being backstage, but if you never hook up, you can always hang out, and you want to be friends with all the wives and the girlfriends. That's the best position to be in. So you can always be around. So I just remember wanting a reason to be backstage instead of just being backstage. So I started to do press. I've been doing press for about 10, 15 years for magazines, things like that. I've had my own podcast for 2-3 years. Host events, personality in rock and metal, and I just filmed a TV pilot a month ago. So
what is that TV pilot about?
So I want to be the Anthony Bourdain of metal. So travel, hanging out with bands like I do, going to go do fun things, and just having really great chats and traveling around to different cities, discovering the local culture with the food and what, is really special about each city, but then also spending time to, go visit the local music scenes and get to know the venue owners and the artists and just go do fun stuff with your friends.
Basically documenting the journey that you go with the bands and all that stuff you enjoy.
Yeah.
Documenting is a great way to kind of define it. And basically, since you were in high school or before that, you were kind of involved in the music. You were in the ecosystem of music. You got into it. Now you like the behind the scene. Like you want to see what's going on back there, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you want to be, I think, part of the pack.
Yeah. So I was just the ultimate fan, and I still am, and I love it. It's my
Who's your favorite band?
Oh, that's such a hard question.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, that's impossible to answer. I would definitely say Hatebreed. They're my top 3. It's a hard name, but they have some of the most intense, positive, wonderful, beautiful lyrics. And most of my friends that I hang out with, none of them are really metalheads. So I do a lot of introducing of my music to them. And funny enough, they're totally open to it, and they think I'm this cute little fun thing who's into metal, and they are really open to it. And when I explain it to them and talk to them about it, they're always like, wow, that's really cool. So it's more than people know, and it's it's way more there's way more beauty in depth and with your spirit and with your heart, and people understand that. Of course. It worked out perfectly with Metallica. So, it was fantastic. So, I know one of my guy friends was on tour with Metallica. So, I knew that he would like my girlfriend, we were going to go to the show together. And her and I are both friends with Five Finger Death Punch. So, we knew we wanted to go see Five Finger, of course. So, we wanted to go see them and hang out with them. And we did, but we were like, okay, well, we don't want to pay these Metallica prices. So
it's expensive.
It is. So I hooked her up with my guy friend, who ended up hooking us up for tickets, and then she went the night before, and then she found a guy friend who did Metallica VIP. So we got these $5,000 Snake Pass tickets for free.
Oh my God.
Because it just worked out like that. Just follow the bouncing ball. It was really fun.
Don't work the plan, work the man.
We did it, and we really did it too, and it really worked, and we were so pleased with ourselves, and it was such a great time. And we saw them at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, and it was such a good show.
Wow.
It was incredible.
And your podcast basically is based on your adventures, your knowledge about the the music, or more toward events and everything else?
So I like to say that I get grown men on the podcast and just make them cry instantly.
Wow, that's hard.
It's
Is it?
if you so
They open up to you.
so if you have, if you have the right spirit and you have the right heart and you go into it the right way and you know how to talk to people, and I don't just have men on the podcast, I should say that. I've had beautiful, wonderful, passion of the women artists from the 70s kind of interviews with rock and roll artists like Lila Sarr and Dorothy and Carla from Butcher Babies. I do beautiful women interviews as well. But I really care about getting the artists to be more emotional than they are in interviews. So number one, you have to really do your research so you're not wasting your time. You can't ask the same questions. I always go and listen to other interviews so I can get a feel for their cadence and how they are in interviews. That's, a huge pro tip for podcasting is researching your guest and listening to other things they've done before, because you can kind of get a feel for where they're at, what they have going on. But I want to know where they were when they wrote that. I want to know why they did what they did and what that means to them. And I want to know, there's a great Stain lyric, and it's one of my favorite songs. It's, and I can't explain, and I'm not, now that we're here so far away, all the troubles we thought were in vain. There's something blurry lyric, I don't remember, but then it says, I'm not ashamed and I'm not afraid to be the person that I am today. And
That speaks to you?
yes, because it's all the pain, it wasn't in vain, and this is the reason why. I want to get to that point with every single artist that I interview, the point of your life. I want them to look back on their life and see that it was all for this. And things aren't always great all the time, but you know what? This is what it was for. And I want to get people there on my podcast, and I really care about that. And I really care about connecting with them and getting really deep. So I'm able to usually very successfully do that. And I'm really proud of that.
That's pretty good, getting to know people and understanding their pain and suffering. That's really admiring. But getting to that point that people, they're going to open up to you, sometimes it's not easy. And most of the people, they don't want to do that because they don't want to be very vulnerable to you. Because they think that, oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. They're going to judge me.
Yeah.
And that, no, I'm not that weak. And let's don't talk about it. Let's don't go there. I hear that a lot, but you really don't know by actually talking about it. A lot of your pains is going to go away.
Yep.
And you don't know how many people, they suffering from the same pain that you were suffering, now that you can help them out to understand what you went through and then how you can get out of it.
Absolutely. 1,000%. And I think that's something, I feel like we're in a revolution of not just metal. I'm a huge music fan, and country and pop and hip hop and R&B.
You like country?
Oh, I love everything.
I love country.
Yeah, and I'll even like red dirt country. A lot of people are like, I like country, but only if it's from the 60s. I like new country too. I just love things that are fun. And, so I don't shy away. I think some people take themselves so seriously. Oh no. But I think there's just this beautiful revolution of artists being so vulnerable, and everyone talks about a lot of things, and I feel like it used to not be so personal and things like that. I don't know. That may be true, it may not, I don't know, because if you think about the music of the 70s, so personal, so beautiful, but I'm so inspired by artists like Halsey. She's my favorite one. I just found a new artist who's folk, Paris Paloma, and her music inspired me to leave my last relationship. It was her song Labor that I just listened to over and over again, and I was like, I'm doing it, and I did it because
you've been in the music a lot more than me, and your knowledge is way more than me. But I think every musician, I talked to a couple of them, every musician, songwriters, they all come from some sort of pain from their past that fuel them sometimes, give them that fuel to go forward and to be somebody, to pursue their dreams, or sometimes it destroys them. You know, what is your thoughts on that? That because you talk to a lot of them, they do you all have some sort of pain?
Well, I think every single person on the
We
planet,
all have,
has pain, and I think they just express theirs through music. And I think what destroys an artist one over another, a lot of times can be drugs or alcohol, like in a literal way. But I think what destroys a person is not having an outlet for their pain. If you don't have a way to get it out, like I have some abuse in my childhood, and that heavy music that I would listen to matched very literally, the pain I felt at the time. So I'm a very well-adjusted adult. I'm very happy. I really don't carry pain from my childhood at all, really,
How did you overcome
if any.
it then with the music?
Because, yes, that heavy, heavy, heavy music literally matched the feelings I was having at the time. And I used to leave those bad situations, go to a show, lock my heel in, windmill my head, your hair, rock out, headbang, and that's what I needed. And that's just for me. Everyone's different, but what destroys a person is not having an outlet to get that pain out. I think I was so lucky that heavy music did it for me, and I just don't feel the pain of, having it, that abuse in my past like other people might, and I just had a really good outlet for it. So I think we all have pain, but if you don't have a really good way to let it go, I think that's what destroys you.
Basically, we all need to find, I agree with you that we all have pain. We need to find a way to release that and find a way to cope with it through music, through painting, through art, singing, working out, whatever. Because I talked to fitness personal trainer, is very famous, and the same thing. She's kind of overcome her past abused relationship through fitness, and now she's the best. Absolutely. She loves it. She got over all those pain, but getting to that point to realizing it, that's a different story.
You also, I have encountered this in the past few years of my life as well. I've let go of some people in my life.
Wow.
Who, I know, it feels great, right? I would like, when I do have the time, I would love to actually write a book about it, because there's such...
Sorry, what did you let them go? Not specifically, but negative,
it's
discouraging.
So we all go through really hard times in our life. We all do. We all go, like, we are not perfect people. Like, we're going to have highs and lows and, a rough couple years here and there. But I had to let go of a best friend of mine who was my best friend, because I was there for her through the bad times for a very long time, and I was there with her always, and no one cared about her heart more than me. But it got to a point to where you have to want to get better, and it was at a point where she had been in a dark place for a really long time, but I was watching her actively do things to make it worse. And that's just not a good road to go down. And it's really hard to watch someone you love make choices that are just going to make their life worse. And I had enough. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm done here. And it wasn't my choice. Like, it was actually like her getting mad at me and yelling at me in a way I would never talk to her, because I don't leave people, and I don't leave people at all. But I didn't make up with her after that happened, and I let it go because it was just too much. Like, a few years, a year and a half, 2 years or whatever, of sadness and pain and talking about that every day. I totally get that, and I'm here for that. But it's not healthy, and it's not a good thing to continually do things to just make it worse on yourself. That's bad.
But you did what you could do at that time to help her.
Oh, yeah,
You
all
did
day,
that,
every day.
but all day, every day. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is, I had to do the same thing, but you get to the point, especially in the friendship, that you do everything in your power to help, to tell them, hey, listen, I'm here for you. I love you. I'm your friend. I'm your best friend, closer than your brother or sister. This is what you should do. This is what I see right now that you're doing to yourself, but you should stop. And you get to the point that I agree with you that you can't change people. If you're not willing to change, nobody can change you. Really, it's that. I got to that point. Listen, brother, I can't change you. You don't want to change. I'm just going to have to let you go. Because a lot of people, they don't understand actually that scenario, that culture, whatever it is, it will eventually bring you down as a person. Like people that are drowning and you try to help them and they drown you too. It's just they instead of being relaxed, the same scenario. And it's not easy, it's hard, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. It's one thing I told her that I thought was really a great thing that I said, and she was just freaking out one time, and I was like, okay, where we are sucks. Okay, we're here and this sucks. We don't like this. Okay, let's not stay here. Let's get out of this. What can you do? What would make you happy? Okay, DJing. Like she had a goal. She was like, I think it would be fun to be a DJ. I was like, great. How do we make that happen? And just all these steps and just, I think great advice and a good universal thing. If where you're at sucks, don't stay there. Get out of it. Just like go do something different. Like I was really sad last week and I forced myself and I made myself leave and go to the gym. And like you can force yourself and you can go walk for 3 minutes and just force yourself. Like you're going to get the endorphins. It's going to be the change in your day. You will get there. But you have to if where you're at does not feel good, don't stay there.
You stay there, you will stay there, you will stuck.
Yeah, and forever. And we get one life, who wants to, live it like that? And I am the music metal lady, so I do want to recommend bands. Hatebreed, the most, heavy, hard, beautiful lyrics. Like, go read the lyrics to their songs. Beautiful.
You really have, me, I have to really read the lyrics and then just kind of things in order to understand it when they're singing.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's very hard to understand, because I said, why this guy's a bumble and jumbling? And I had a friend and he said, like Metallica, said, I think you should read the lyrics before we go to the show, listen to it, that you understand what they're saying. And that helps. Otherwise, it's just...
You really, I definitely do recommend, just looking up the lyrics to a few songs. One of my favorites, so I love death metal. I don't know why, but I just think it's a cute, fun thing. And I think it's cute that I'm a fun, girly girl, and I love death metal, and I love the juxtapose of that. But one of my favorite death metal bands is called Fit for an Autopsy. And I've done so many interviews with them, and I love them, and they are so much fun, and they're so sweet, and they're so talented, and they have this they blew up over the past few years. But two of my favorite songs, one is called Napalm Dreams, and there's just this beautiful, it's screaming, it's rah, 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 like Cookie Monster stuff, but then at the bridge of it, he goes, all I wanted was a way out. And it's just like, it's the most beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, thanks. It's
really, keep doing it.
Oh, well, he sings it over and over again, and it's just it's one of the most comforting songs to me. It's okay, I'll try and think, on the spot. It's I never cast the first stone, but I'm buried in rubble. But I'm buried in rubble. The weight of a wicked world is enough to make any man struggle. I never asked for forgiveness, so I've been given no end to my suffering. And then I don't remember after those, but usually I can remember the next verse. But then it's just these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lyrics. And I mean, I never cast the first stone, but I'm buried in rubble. Like, oh, and that to me, I can just put headphones onto that, and that's so relaxing to me. And then he just sings beautifully. It's just like rah, rah, rah. But then he does this opposite. All I wanted was a way out. And just like sings that over. And just the desperation of that, you know, all I wanted was way out. And the way he sings it is just so like cathartic. And it really is. So Fit for an Autopsy is great. Hey Freed is great. Like some lyrics. This is great. It's one of their songs is, it starts off screaming, "Who's got more heart than you?" And then someone else screams, "No one who's got more heart than you. No one who's got more heart than you. No one, if you can't," you know. And then they have, that's one opening of a song I love, and there's one, destroy everything, destroy everything, destroy everything that makes you weak. One of their more popular songs opens with, "First they held a shotgun to my head. They said I wasn't worth the bullets. Now the world is my..." Wait, laugh after. We're not there yet. First they, what was it? First they held a shotgun to my head. They said I wasn't worth the bullets. Now the world is my trigger, and I'm here to fucking pull it.
That's so
like,
that's
and
so
then it
good.
goes, and then just the whole.
I gotta listen to that song.
It's a great song. So it all
What is the
sounds.
name of the song?
It's called Looking Down the Barrel of Today.
Looking at the Barrel.
Yeah, and it's just, Hey Breed is so positive. And if you're a woman, listen to Spirit Box, Halsey, and Dorothy, Lil Star. You know, I have a very personal relationship with the women in metal and with their music.
Why is that?
Because their music, you put it on, and it's my own internal compass, and it's my own internal. Their music is my internal dialogue. Blah blah blah. Their music is my internal dialogue. So I have a very personal relationship with the women of metal, listening to their voices, putting the music on, and it's like I'm just hanging out in my head, and I feel that. It feels good. And a lot of it, there is screaming, but there's also, they scream, but then they go very mellow and just start like singing beautifully, you know, like a nymph in a garden or something. So it's just very soothing and relaxing.
I think the heavy metal, I think based on, our conversation, because I'm new, I've been listening to them, Metallica, I told you, but I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
I'm a techno guy. I love techno music and country.
Oh, don't we all in Austin? Yeah. Oh, don't we all?
Actually, we were talking today if we should go this Saturday, but, country, of course, but behind every music, every lyrics is a story that the person that wrote it or sing it, they really attach to it, and they actually speaking through that with you. Look at all these singers, Lady Gaga, that
wonderful.
movie.
I love. I'm the biggest Lady Gaga fan in the entire world. I love her.
Yeah, it's just that, or the movie that played, and all that stuff. I forgot the name of the movie, but
A Star Is Born.
Yeah, all of that, and every as we said earlier, every musician, they went through some sort of hardship in their life, and some they got out of it, some Whitney Houston, and it's so sad, but we have lost a lot of good musicians and singers too, due to alcohol and drugs and everything else. And why, in your opinion, why is the reason this musician, they all go heavy sometimes toward alcohol or drugs?
Well, it's the facade of the rock and roll lifestyle that actually isn't as prevalent anymore. So actually, they all went crazy in the 80s just because they thought it was fun and cool. And most of them, I would say 70% of, I'm pretty much friends with everyone and I go to every show and I hang out. Most of them are all sober now. So if
Really?
they're in their, most people are. So if they're in their like 40s, 50s ish, late 30s too, but it's usually the people who are in their 40s or 50s who have partied really hard and they're like, ooh, I don't want to die. So a lot of them are completely sober now. And it's just, drugs are bad, and there's a lot of people do drugs and alcohol, for pain. They've had horrible childhoods. I just had John Joseph on the podcast. He was the first singer for the Cro-Mags, and he had I've been interviewing for like 15 years, and it's not out yet. It'll be out like next Monday, but it was one of the hardest childhoods and the hardest lives I've ever heard of. And he was obviously, doing the best he could and covering up pain, obviously. But other than that, just say no, because one time will get ya. And I think it's just a lot of, it's expected of you. And
in that field? Before?
It used to be. It's not.
It
used to be. It's not anymore. I know that there's been some bands that, they joined a band.
In the green room, every band, I remember every movie, I watch every band. I've been around a couple of bands, and, they're doing it. They're drinking or sniffing or whatever it is, but
yeah.
I think it's changing because I like what you said, fear of dying.
There's a fear of dying, and I've never tried drugs before, ever, because, nope, I was around metal, and
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm good. I'd rather buy shoes. Like, whatever. I'm a lady in metal. Like, what do I want to do with that? I don't think so. But just be smart, because drugs are really dangerous these days, and it's not worth it. I don't know. I feel like we might be getting off, but yes, it was rock and roll lifestyle.
It's changing. I have seen it.
It was fun, and I kind of...
Like smoking cigarettes. Do you remember that? All the ads on the TV?
Yes.
Marlboro. All the cowboy killer.
Yeah.
All they had these Marlboros. Now you don't see any advertising. They're doing cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're selling it, but nobody's advertising on TV that. Have you seen? But in 60s, you will see the added smoking cigarette in all the movies. Now in most of the movies, they're not actually pushing it. I think we're going to that era.
Everyone wants to be Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be Motley Crue. Everyone wanted to be Ozzy Osbourne. Like, that's what they all aspired to. And those people were insane, and they acted crazy, and they did crazy things. So they just wanted some of the success from that, and they wanted to feel that lifestyle, and they wanted to experience that lifestyle. So that's why they did it. Most people I know are like 60, 70% of the bands, like, which I pretty much know most bands, they're all, if not all of them, most of them are sober. And they're into like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or just really working out, or, or they're green sober, or they'll just smoke weed. There's like a whole health revolution, and people really care about that, and we all want to live,
What makes Ashley happy? Do you want to be famous? Is being famous makes you happy?
It's not so much about being famous. It's about celebrating what I love and my personality. So Scandalous is a joke. It was given to me by
we're talking about that. Let's talk about that. It's scandals. They don't want what you said.
You were saying something about doing something, and I was like, oh, darling, you can't be named Scandalous and actually be scandalous. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
So I was well known in the industry, just by my personality and being fun and cute and being around, and I never was scandalous. People always thought I was when they would first meet me, but then they would sit down and chat with me for 5 minutes, and they're like, oh, you're not scandalous, you're sweet. But it was given to me by the first singer of the first band I was ever really good friends with, and there was a group of women who were jealous of me, and he ran up to me when they were like trying to mess with me one time, and he was like, "Oh my God, everyone thinks you're so scandalous." Oh, and he was making a joke because I'm not scandalous, but then he just started calling me scandalous every time he was on stage, and the name took. And everyone has a music industry nickname. So if you tour, if you're in the industry, it's like Big Red or God of Bass or just like all these fun little nicknames. That was mine. And to answer your question, it's not about being famous. It's just about sharing my fun experience of being feminine and really being passionate and loving this music and showing them a side of these artists that I get to see that no one else gets to see. That's a lot of the feedback I've gotten with festivals and with brands who have wanted to work with me. They're like, we love your ability to connect with artists and make them accessible in a way that you do. So it's not about being famous. It's just about sharing my good fun times.
And then, enjoying the ride and the journey.
Enjoying my ride and celebrating, like, I love being a girl and I love being feminine, and you can be into heavy, hard things and also be ultra feminine at the same time.
Your character, you love like a heavy metal, but you are a very calm person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're very calm and relaxed. And I kind of see, okay, she loves this heavy metal music. She has to be so energetic and all that, but you're very calm and content, and, that's pretty cool, actually. How you do that?
I would like to credit heavy metal music.
No, you do any meditations?
Oh, yes, of course. I meditate all day, every day.
Somebody told me I have to do more often. It helps.
So if you this is a great place to start. So it really works. Lay down on your bed and just YouTube 10-minute chakra cleansing meditation. 10-minute chakra guided meditation. Put that into YouTube. Pick the first one or the second one. Lay down for 10 minutes. Go there with the video. You do have to participate, but it really works. And it, just grounding, and we want to go through life, being our most grounded, calm, confident selves.
You will kind of leash your soul. Mm-hmm. Like you control the mind.
Absolutely. And every day is a choice. I will say I'm very good at, if something's really sad or mad or angry or something like that, I am very good at making a choice and leaving that, which I didn't always used to be. I would say the past 3-4 years I've gotten really good at it, but I am very good at, okay, I'm really mad right now. I'm really upset and I'm really pissed off. Okay, I'm here sitting in this chair. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just go the rest of my day and just have a good day, not be so mad right now, not be so angry? Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, I'm in this chair now. By the time I walk out that door, I'm letting it go. I'm going to be thankful for waking up today with breath in my lungs. I am thankful for the house I live in. I'm thankful for a car. I'm thankful for food. And I'm going to go watch a show I like later. Okay, I'm just going to be thankful. Okay, so I'm really mad right now. I don't like this feeling. By the time I get out there, okay, I'm going to be done with it. I'm just going to go enjoy myself and have I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. It is a choice, and it can be that simple.
It's a choice. And what I like what you just said, you practice gratefulness like a lot of us, we don't do. Lately I start getting up in the morning and exactly what you say, I get behind the wheel and I say, I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful to actually seeing the sun. I'm grateful to breathing. This is the stuff that we do not recognize until we know that, I'm losing it. Mm-hmm. Like, what is the point to be $1 million or billionaire or millionaire? And he said, hey, you just diagnosed with a cancer and you died 6 months. What is that? That I'm not saying that we have to be negative, but we have to be realistic. You have to have an attitude for gratitude.
attitude for gratitude, and also we don't realize how lucky we really are most
We
of
are.
the time. And there is a homeless crisis in Austin.
Big time.
However you look at it, either way, but there's like 3 of them that have lived on my street that I see every day. And that will make, we have sometimes, weirdly, we have extreme weather in Austin, and just
Like last night, raining all night.
oh, exactly. So just even that, like, I remember like, oh, it being so cold, like last winter. It was like really cold. And I just remember coming in my apartment, and a lot of the homeless people on my street, I have interacted with them and brought them like coats and blankets and money and things like that so I could go get a hotel. But it's kind of a mental health thing because they're really messed up. And I've noticed that they kind of prefer that I don't interact with them when I have tried. Side note, mental health, very important part of that conversation. But I remember last winter just being like really cold outside and coming into my apartment, and it was warm. And I was like, oh, I'm so thankful for that. It's just,
The little things.
Yep.
The basic little human needs are so important for us to be appreciative and say thank you.
It's also,
Thank you for what we have.
yeah. And there's also, we can be full of emotions sometimes, and times are tough out there, really bad in a very real way for a lot of people. And you might be in a depression. I've been depressed for a few months, and that's kind of, I don't know the right way to say this because I've only thought this. I haven't really said this out loud, but some people don't have the luxury of being sad in the way that some people are because they have to go work a second job and they don't have time to think about how sad they are, and you have to feel your emotions. You have to get them out. I think we've talked about, if you don't get them out, it'll kill you. Like, honestly, it can.
Talk about it.
But times are like really weirdly tough for a lot of people right now with our economy and the price of things. And there's just like even having basic needs met for yourself is a luxury that some don't. So gratitude.
Gratitude. Yeah. And one of the things that we don't realize as human beings, okay, helping one another. I told you earlier off camera, I said collaboration is better than competition in business. In personal life, how can we help each other? We all living under one planet of Earth, and it doesn't matter where you're coming from, what is the color of your skin, what nationality you have, or who you are, or where you're coming from. What is matter is just help one another with what you can or what you have. I'm not saying just, oh yeah, go give $1,000. No, maybe a simple phone call. Maybe, as you said, just to stop by, tell that homeless person that, how is your day today? You doing okay? How you holding out with this cold weather? Or many different things. But I don't think so. We understand the power of that, helping others, and because by helping others, we help ourselves.
Absolutely. And I'm very socially, how do you say it? Is it socially justice?
Social butterfly.
I am a social butterfly. I'm very concerned with, here it is, social justice issues, and I always have been. And to your point of, we should help other people, it can be really overwhelming with the fires in Hawaii, and I believe India had like a huge earthquake, or I think I'm getting the country wrong, but there's just so many things happening all the time, and because of news, we're super hyper aware of them, and it can be really upsetting, and it can be very overwhelming. And with the flooding in New York, and oh my God, everyone needs help, and feeling pulled in a million directions, it can be really overwhelming. And I've always talked about and thought that there's so much, famine, hunger. There's so many problems in the world that are like real problems that we should really, be working to solve. And we are, and that's great. but it's so overwhelming, and there's so many things, like plastic in the ocean.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
just so many things we can be concerned about. But I think the way to get through all of it, because it can be really overwhelming, is to know if you can just help one person in the world, like just pick one person and just do something for them. I think it's a very clear, easy, and just like concentrated way to actually make a difference in the world without letting, because the stress of all of it, if you stay up on it, it really feels overwhelming. But if you can just make a difference, like with one single person, you're doing great work in the world. Good for you.
I have a mission. It started 30 years ago. Since I was nobody, I'm still nobody. But, and
You're my favorite new person. I love
yeah,
you.
and then, and I learned a lot of stuff. And I said, okay, how can I help, as you said, people? I said, why don't you just help one person a day? And I'm doing that every day. It doesn't matter. Make a phone call. Help an old lady with a grocery bag at a local grocery store. Open the door, or your friend asking, do it for him. Sometimes I'm running out of the option. I call my friend. Do you need anything I have to do? Oh yeah, I was thinking about. Do you know any plumber? I said, yeah, I'll find you one. I'll make that call. I do the introduction. It doesn't matter what it is. When you do that, you feel good. It's not just financial. It's not that financial. Just pick up the phone and tell your sister, hey, sissy, I was thinking about you. I love you. Really? Oh, yeah. A simple thing that makes us happy, don't you think?
Absolutely. And another one is, being like really nice to the person taking your order, and take a moment, and mean it authentically. That they'll be like, so not used to it. They're like, really, me? That's another great one. But absolutely, of course, just little kindnesses here and there.
I went to Kirby Lane Cafe for breakfast after the gym, a couple of my buddies, and then Joey is a server that is over there. And I said, Joey, how you doing? He said, I'm so happy. You got your usual? I say, yeah, coffee. And everybody said, hey, how's family? How's everybody? You're good? And my buddy said, oh, you know everybody here? I said, some of them, but I really want to get to know these servers because they work so hard. And he's a middle-aged guy. He's got the kids and the wife and the family. And that's very relaxing, when you just get to know people and you do something good. Even that, 2 words of, kind words, or the word of kindness, that will change somebody's life.
Absolutely.
It does. Even by looking at somebody in the eyes, and you can get that message. You can relax. It's so wonderful.
It feels great. And I remember that so clearly because I would freak people out when we were in the pandemic and we couldn't get out in the world. When I was finally able to get out in the world, I would freak people out talking to them because I'd be like, hi, how are you? It makes you feel good too, because I remember that so clearly because of the way it made me feel good when I would get out of the house and I'd go see someone at a store, just like the way I was so excited to talk to them, is even more testament of like how good it can feel for you.
But what is the future for you? What is a big plan?
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm serious. Because I look at you, I know you're up to something. If you can say it.
It's so funny. It's hilarious because
I know something is bowling in your head. It says, oh.
Yeah. Very funny. So it feels like I'm falling forward and I'm falling forward towards success. And I've been working very hard for many years. And about anything, I will say one of the things I'm proudest about of my life work so far is that I really have the respect of my peers and I do really good work. And most people know who I am and they know that I do really good interviews and they know I do good work. And I'm really proud of that. So that's the number one thing that makes me happiest in life. I need to tweak some things with my podcast production a little bit to improve it. I just filmed a TV pilot. I'm working with a producer. We're doing 2 other things as well. We're going to do a Headbangers Ball-esque reboot. We've got one TV pilot we shot. We're going to do a Headbangers Ball reboot-esque, shop that around. And then I also want to do a Netflix-type documentary talking about the fear normal people have around metal music. So I want to
Very interesting.
introduce metal music to people, figure out why they're afraid of it, and break down those barriers. Metalheads are people here. Metalheads are people too, and metalheads are normal. There's heart surgeon metalheads, and there's people up in space who like metal, and there's just a big divide in culture between people, how they assume metalheads are and what they assume about them, and the reality and how good it can be for you.
You are definitely very talented lady, and I can feel that you got a great future, and you're doing a great work, and with the podcast, with all these events that you're doing, but those are great. But if people, they have questions for you, or they want to get a hold of you, how they can do that?
Absolutely. So my Instagram is what I'm most obsessed with in the world. Of course, website, all the things, but Scandalous Official on Instagram is my favorite way to keep up with people and make friends. So definitely hit me up there.
Yeah, you heard that, folks. You're going to reach out to her, use that, and make sure, let us know if you like this podcast. You can ask any question from me or Ashley. Just leave a comment. She would read it. She will respond it, or we talk about it.
Yeah.
And, we are here to help other people. As simple as that. With music. That's phenomenal. To educating people about, metal. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And get out and go to a show. It's the funnest thing in the world, and it's
You're going to be on the
cathartic.
ACL, right?
No.
Why not?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, it's traffic. Oh, my God.
No, I stay inside.
Oh, during the
No,
ACL,
no.
Austin City Limits, by the way, for some of you, is a music festival here in Austin, Texas, and it's crowded. And it's traffic. Oh, my God, dear Lord. And it's just, a couple of weeks. But
it's if you're
it's
not
beautiful. If
if you're not going to shows like 2-3 times a week like I am.
Yeah.
If this is your one big one that you're going to,
go.
then heck yeah, yay traffic. I go to 2-3 shows a week, so I'm like, I'll stay home.
Yeah, you do that. But
I get a lot of.
Ashley, thank you so much for being here. I learned a lot from you.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to be friends for a long time.
Me too.
And helping each other. And, I'm always about learning from others. That's me. I'm always learning. I'm always listening. And that's the only way that you can go up the ladder and be successful and help other people. That's the recipe, be honest with you.
Absolutely.
That a lot of people, they do not understand that we all need help. If you need help, just ask. It's not that hard. Yeah. It's really not that hard. But thank you. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. My pleasure.